Even though Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, technically the 3.4 million Americans who live in Puerto Rico still have fewer constitutional rights than anyone living in the United States. As stated by Kelly M. Torres, who is a department chair of the Educational Psychology and Technology program at TCSPP, where her research focuses on English language learners in the Canadian Journal of Latin America and Caribbean Studies, published in 2017. Everyone in this room has had Mr. Rash for Social 10 and has learned about Puerto Rico becoming a U.S. territory and how Puerto Rico wants to become the 51st state. The U.S. Congress should pass a bill that admits Puerto Rico to become the 51st state. First, I will tell you about how Puerto Rico is attempting to become the 51st state. Second, I will tell you about a practical solution the U.S. Congress could use to make this a reality. First, I will tell you about how Puerto Rico is attempting to become the 51st state. One of the more common reasons why Puerto Rico is trying to become the 51st state is because they want equal and fair rights. Technically, everyone in Puerto Rico has been a U.S. citizen since 1917 and has been able to vote for the presidential primaries, but they have never been able to vote for the presidential elections. Although Puerto Rico has never got a final say in who our president is, they still have to pay some U.S. federal taxes. According to Alexa Fernandez-Campbell, who is a politics and policy reporter for the national journal Next American Project, and had her work appear in the Washington Post, in the Los Angeles Times, in the journal Latin America and Caribbean Studies, published in 2017, has stated that Puerto Rico has paid $3.5 billion to the U.S. Treasury. Their citizenship also allows them to serve in the United States military, but does not grant them a right to vote. Before Hurricane Maria came and destroyed parts of Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico's unemployment rate was at 11.6%, which is almost 46% of Puerto Ricans below the poverty line. As stated by George Dooney, the director of the Caribbean Research Institute and professor of anthropology at Florida International University, in the book Puerto Rico on the Move, published in 2016. In the scenario of Puerto Rico wanting to become a state, they could have been given the tools to build better homes, better jobs, and better health care for people in need. With this, America could send help to Puerto Rico to help clean up. With this, Puerto Rico would not have to make room for people coming into the United States because Puerto Rico would have their own land. Another reason why Puerto Rico also wants to become the 51st state is so they can help, or so they do not have to have taxes anymore. In circumstances, U.S. companies will bring their businesses to the offshores of Puerto Rico so they do not have to pay taxes. America could send help to all Puerto Ricans to help them get a better, to help them become a better as a whole. Next, I will tell you about, now that I have told you about why Puerto Rico is attempting to become the 51st state, I will now tell you about a practical solution the U.S. Congress could use to help make Puerto Rico a state. The U.S. Congress, along with President Trump, has been should pass a bill claiming Puerto Rico to become a state belonging to America. By doing this, Americans could send helpers to clean up disaster from Hurricane Maria. Once Puerto Rico is cleaned up, they can send people to build industries and communities and help them put them on a better path to success. According to Andre Lecours, who is a Canadian sociologist and professor in political studies and social sciences in the Canadian Journal of Political Science, published in 2017, states, after 118 years, the U.S. Congress could readdress the judicial mishap and recognize 3.4 million American citizens. Once America grants Puerto Rico the equal rights and helps them be able to create a better community, Puerto Ricans can finally live the American dream. According to Pedro Rosell, who served as the governor of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico in the book Puerto Rico Strong, published in 2015, states that once Puerto Rico becomes a state, it will boost moral and nationalism for America. Now that I have told you about, first I told you about why Puerto Rico is attempting to become the 51st state. Second, I told you about how why the U.S. Congress is helping Puerto Rico become the 51st state. The U.S. Congress should pass a bill that is admitting Puerto Rico to become the 51st state. The Constitution says that everyone born or naturalized in the United States or a U.S. territory should be given equal rights by law. Therefore, the 3.4 million Americans and everyone living in Puerto Rico should still have the same equal rights as everyone living in America.